All right, here we go. Welcome to my next latest and greatest video on the Lamborghini Revuelto. So this is a 2025 Lamborghini Revuelto, and today we're talking about how to drive this crazy beast. So in my how to drive videos, I like to start with the outside operation of the vehicle, and then we'll go into the inside of the vehicle and exactly how to operate this thing. And then we'll drive it. So I'll show you how to drive it and everything that I've learned how to do operating it as a owner of the vehicle. And I've had this car since January. So yeah, let's go ahead and get it started. All right, so the first thing I like to do is discuss the key. How do you use the key? On the back here, you've got a panic button. You can hold that down. That will flash the lights and sound the horn, I think for up to like 30 seconds or a minute. To lock the car, you hit the top button, the lock button. To unlock it, you hit this bottom button that unlocks the car. And then to get the front trunk open, you hold this middle button for about 2 seconds. That releases the hood. But to open the hood, you're gonna have to use your right hand, lift this up slightly, and feel right about here for a little lever. And you pull that lever up, and that releases the front trunk. There's the lever right there. That's how you gotta pull that up with your finger. That'll release it. And then you have this little bit of front trunk space right here. Now, when we bring the car back, I'm gonna show you how to use the hybrid electric charger that comes with the car. I'm gonna show you guys how to use that. You got your little indicators right there. But in case you've never seen the front trunk of a Revuelto, it's about the same space that you have in a Venador. Got your carbon fiber hood right there. Close the hood nice and gently, let it latch. Then you'll just have to push down rather firmly right there. Okay, so that's how you use the key. Also, if you have the key in your pocket, let's say the door is locked. All right, so it's locked. If you have your key in your pocket, if you come up to the door, there's these little sensors here. This sensor is to lock the car. There's a sensor underneath the handle. I don't know if you can see, but there's a little pad right here. On that pad, a little pressure, that'll release the door. But hold on for a second and let the window come down before you pull it up. That's super important, because as soon as you hit that pad and it releases the lock of the door, if you pull up real fast, the window will not have come down yet, and you'll have a little bit of resistance pulling the door up, and you'll be wondering why. It's because you pulled up the door too fast and the window wasn't all the way down. So watch what happens. See how the window just went up? Watch this. Push the pad. See? If I pull it up too fast, the window hits. So once you push the pad and the door unlocks, let the window come down a little bit, then open the door and let the door come up. All right, now, before we come inside the car and I start showing you everything on the inside of the car on how to use and drive it, let me show you some of the other features on the outside of the car. Gas. Where's the release? Oh, the release is on the inside of the car. If you need to open the gas cap or to put gas in the car, there's a gas release right there. So you pull that, that'll release the gas cap right here. All right, so it's on the inside of the car. If you want to put gas in your car, you got to pull that switch up on the inside of the car, and then that will release your cap or your cover for your gas, and then that's how you're going to put gas in the car. This is a hybrid. So in case you're wondering like some of the specs of the cars, most of the people that own this car, or you're going to drive one day, you're probably going to be already familiar with some of the specs. But it is a V12 naturally aspirated engine that you can see there. It's exposed. You can see right there. Naturally aspirated V12 engine with hybrid motors in the car. So the hybrid motors add like 200 and some horsepower. And the naturally aspirated V12 gives you about 800 horsepower, naturally aspirated. So this car does sound really good. From the factory stock. This has a stock exhaust on it. Haven't done any modifications to this car, and I probably won't because I like my warranty. But yeah, so if you're wondering what the engine is, still a V12, still sounds great. It just has hybrid assist, which makes it a lot faster. Now, the other thing you have on the outside is you got surround mirror or cameras. So now you don't have to worry about scraping up your rims, because you can see a top down and a surround 360 surround with all of the cameras on the car. So you have one on each mirror. You have one in the front in the center right there. Then you have sensors One of these is a tow hook. I believe it's this one on this side. When you take off that little cap, there's a tow hook right there. So if you ever, for some reason, had to tow your Lamborghini, hopefully you never have to do this, but if you needed to tow it, you remove the cap and you can put a tow hook in there and then tow the vehicle. So that's what that side is for. This side over here is your active or adaptive cruise control. So you can turn on cruise control and it can keep like distance of the car between you and the car in front of you. And then you, of course, you have your parking sensors like right there, like 4 of them on the front, and then you have a few of them on the back. Okay, so let's say you wanted to, for some reason, open up this rear area. I'm gonna show you real quick how to do it on your Revuelto. So you open up the door right there, and there should be on the back of this, what is this right here? Oh, wow, I just learned something new. If you pull this right here, that will open your window for you. So check that out. That's something new. Look, the window's down now. So that's an automatic window down operator. So let's see how to pull this seat forward. All right, so you got the automatic seats, of course. You're just gonna raise the seat back with that little lever right there. Raise it forward, and then there's a little lever. You pull that lever, and that will release the rear cover back here. So if you need to get access to the engine for whatever reason, or you just want to show it off, you got this super lightweight carbon fiber piece back here. If you want to show it off, that's how you open it up. Coming into the car, I showed you guys how to open the door with the pad touch sensor. If you're going to get the if you need to turn the theft detection off, you press that button right there if you're going to tow the vehicle, so that the siren doesn't start going off and you know, people wondering if somebody's stealing your car. You gotta use that feature. All right, so operating the Revuelto, let's get to it. All right, so here's the first thing you're gonna want to learn how to do on the Revuelto, and that is to start the car up. All right, so this is a little different from your Aventador and your other Lamborghinis, because when you start this car, the engine's not going to fire up automatically. It's going to start in electric mode. But watch what happens. You're going to put your foot on the brake as normal. You're going to press this button right here. That's going to start the car up. You know the car started when you see ready on the screen right there. All right. Now that just tells you that the car started up. Now to start the engine, check this out, right? First, before we start the engine, you see that mode that you're in right there? It says CETA. That's city mode, which is electric mode. To turn it into Strata mode and fire up the engine, use this knob right here. Turn it one time. See? You see? Now it's in Strata mode. And it says only E mode is possible while the engine is warming up. So what that means is, basically, when you press the gas, you're going to be using the electric motor to go forward and maneuver, reverse, forward, or whatever. And I'm going to show you how you go into first gear or go into reverse. I'm going to show you how to do that. But remember, when you fire up the engine, first it's going to be in CETA mode and electric mode. Then to fire up the V12, you put it in Strata mode. All right. Now, while the engine warms up, you're only going to be driving in electric mode, but the engine is going to be warming up and it's going to still run. It's just not going to rev when you press the gas. All right. All right. So operating the windows. Well, first of all, to get out of the car, to open the door, press this button and then lift. All right. Very simple. Opening the door. Now, window operation is on the door now. You got 2 switches for the windows going up and down. Your mirror operation is right here. That's your mirror. You got heated mirrors. You got the folding in your mirrors. And you got adjusting your mirrors. All right. Door locks right there. That's how you lock the door. It's all on the door now. It used to be like some of the stuff was in the center, stuff like that, right? All right, now let me show you some other things that you're gonna need to know when operating this vehicle. Your light switches, all right here. You got auto, your front lights, rear lights for like fog lights. Your parking brake is down here. This car likes to automatically put the parking brake on whenever it sees fit. All right, so it does not have an automatic release on the parking brake. So you have to actually put your foot on the brake and push that in. That will turn the parking brake off. To turn the parking brake on, you just pull it. That'll light it up and turn your parking brake on. And you can let your foot off the brake. All right, so what's all of this on the steering wheel? First of all, back here, that's your cruise control. Very much like an Audi. You have your distance control right there, setting the cruise control, adjusting the speed up or down, and then pulling it in or out will resume or cancel it. All right, pulling it or pushing it will resume or cancel. So that's your cruise control knob right there. All right, so that's your cruise control. Your paddle shifters, you got downshifting on the left and upshifting on the right. All right, very straightforward with your paddle shifters, just like your Aventador. Now, this control right here on the left is for the engine, like CETA mode, which is city mode, and this electric mode. We hit it one time. Let me show you what this does. One time to the left, city mode, that's electric. One time to the right, strata mode, fires the engine up. One more time to the right, sport mode, just like on your Aventador. Another time to the right, Corsa mode, just like on your Aventador. One more time, you gotta hold it, it'll go to ESC off. I do not recommend that if it's your first time driving this car. So we're gonna put ESC mode and Corsa. We're gonna put sport mode back on, all right? We're gonna leave it in sport mode right now. Actually, I should leave it in strata mode, but sport mode is good. All right, sport mode, all right? So when you change that, think of this one as your engine button, like on or off, or then what mode the engine is. Think of this as your engine button. Think of this one on the right as your EV button. So your hybrid button over here. So if we hit it, right now it's in hybrid mode, which means it will choose automatically when to leverage the electric motors versus the engine. Now, if we hit it one time to the left, just like that, I hit it to the left, that's gonna force the engine to recharge the battery as a priority. That's recharge mode. Let's turn it one time to the right, back in the regular hybrid mode. Let's put it in the performance mode. We'll give you maximum power from the battery to go along with whatever mode you have over here for the engine. So think of this as engine mode, think of this as hybrid mode or the battery power. All right, so one mistake that I often make is I hit this the wrong way, just by habit. I don't know what it is that makes me do that. So sometimes you might hit it the wrong way and you think it might not be working, but I haven't had any issues with it, you know, responding and working properly. It has been working properly. All right, what are the rest of these buttons right here? That's your lane keep right there. Turn lane keep on or off. This is your launch control button right there. That's launch control. So if you're sitting at a stop in the proper mode, you press that button and you can do launch control. I haven't played around with this button right here, this EV button. Maybe we'll try playing around with it. But this is your voice activated control system. This is your windshield wiper system right here. Now, this knob on the bottom, let's hit this knob and see what happens. Active arrow. So that puts the wing up, or we'll actually put it on auto. It's on max right now. So you can turn left, right. Right now it's on auto, and then you can put it on minimum. So this is the control for your wing right there. Now, if I hit the button doesn't do anything. I just hit the button and it doesn't do anything. This is your front end lift right there. If you hit the button, that lifts the front end of the car up. See? You hit the button one more time. Actually, I'm gonna leave it up for when we start driving. Now, here's your auto high beam right there. And it's just, if you want to pass somebody on the freeway, you hit that one time and that'll flash it. Here's your blinkers, left blinker, right blinker, all right? It's your blinkers. Or you can turn the blinker off with that center button. I love that. I really love that feature. I'm glad they added that. Now, here's a knob, another knob. You turn it to the right, that puts your suspension on hard mode. You turn it to the left, that puts your suspension on soft mode. So that's your suspension control right there. This knob right here, that's your suspension. That's your front end lift. And then that's everything on the front side of the steering wheel. Now you have some other stuff on the back side of the steering wheel. Let me show you. All right, y'all, can y'all see that? See those buttons right there? Those buttons are on both sides of the steering wheel, right? So let me show you what happens when I press these buttons. I got an up button, that's the volume. Down button is for the volume. I hit to the right, that's the track selector. So if I hit accept, let me see if I can turn on my all right, so I just hooked up my CarPlay. So you hit that button right there, that'll give you a CarPlay. So now if I turn music on, boom, I can turn it down with the button. So let me turn it down. So that's you gotta hit it multiple times. And then There's a left button that'll go in reverse, and then there's a right button that'll track forward. So it's track forward, track reverse. So that essentially controls your stereo. This button's on the right. These buttons on the left control the screens that you see. So look at the screens, right? You can select one, go up and down, left, right, vehicle info. We can get navigation. Let's get navigation going. Navigation. Let me see if I can zoom in on that. Boom. All right, so those are the buttons on the left back side of the steering wheel. I love that. Great job, Lamborghini. That is super next level. One of the best things that they did. All right, so let's go ahead and drive the car. I've showed you all of this main functionality here. You got car ports, USB ports right there, the new USB-C ports. You got your emergency lights, flashers, or whatever you want to call it. Let me turn my radio off. That's your hazard lights. There you go. That's your hazards. This is your gas flap. This is your start the car. Here's your reverse, manual shifting, and then that's P for park. So when you want to park the car and you want to put it, you're done driving, get where you want to go, hit P to park the car. All right, so it's very much like a Huracan right there. All right, so it's your controls over there for your windows and opening the door on the passenger side. And now in here, what do you need to know? I'm not going to do like an exhaustive, in a how to drive video. I'm not going to show you exhaustive everything you got, but the bare essentials up at the top is your temperature control, your klima. That's how you control klima. You can turn everything off. You can turn AC on. You can turn max AC on. Temperature, your fan speed, and where the air is coming out on your system. All right. So that's your temperature. Your heated seats right there for your passenger and driver, right there at the top under klima. You hit it again and take you back to the main screen. Vehicle settings right there in the center. This is how you control all your vehicle settings. This is your home button. You just hit that right there, brings you home. CarPlay, radio, media, navigation for Lamborghini navigation, which is real nice right there. Home, settings for the car, the audio system, all that good stuff. All right. Now, this button over here, these are your custom buttons, your favorites. So you can set these to be your favorites, and you can also drag them over to the passenger screen right there. That's your passenger screen. Or you can drag some of them over to your main screen over here. So we're not going to, like I said, this is not going to be an exhaustive on the tech, but I wanted to show you guys how to drive the Revuelto. So let's take this thing for a drive. I'm going to put it in CETA. When you start the car, it's going to be in CETA mode or city mode. So the engine's going to be off. This is what it's going to be like when you first start the car. All right, so I'm going to hit the parking brake off by pushing it in. Let me put my seatbelt on. All right, so the car is running because the air is still going, and it says ready. It says ready on the screen. See where it says ready right there? Ready. All right, ready. All right, so let's drive the car. All right, so you're going to put it in reverse, put your foot on the brake, pull that up. You get your reverse camera. The car's still quiet because we're in city mode, which is EV mode. Listen to I'm going to let you guys hear. I'm going to pull out of here in city mode. That's my tires skipping because they're cold. All right, you see an E on the screen. I'm trying to show you guys. You'll see an E on the screen, which basically says you're in electric mode or EV mode. See that E? So you're in electric mode, so we're quiet. I want you to listen though. That's what it sounds like when you're EV mode. Now, at any point in time, you can turn the engine on by turning this knob. Boom. Strata mode, no problem. But sometimes what you do by instinct is you turn the knob the wrong way and it won't do anything because you're already on the leftmost mode, which is city mode. All right, so I think I'm in manual mode right now. So let me put it in auto mode. Now I'm in auto mode, all right? So that'll automatically shift the car without me having to use the paddle shifters. Now, one thing to note is even when you're in strata mode, which is like street mode, let me turn my blinker. You have plenty of power. So like, I just lost traction right there. Just a little bit of All right, so my front end lift system is going down. All right, front end just went down. I don't know why they're flashing their lights at me. Maybe there's a cop up here, or there's some trash on the road. All right, trash on the road. That's not good. There's some glass in there. Okay, so strata mode, manual or automatic shifting. The front end lift system automatically will go down once you hit 45 miles an hour. And if you have nice people that live in your city, they'll let you know when there's stuff on the ground. They'll flash their lights at you, which just happened. Now, I'm going to switch it into sport mode. Here's one of the worst things and most unexpected things. I just put it in sport mode right there, is the exhaust system. No matter what mode you're in, the exhaust is going to turn on or off based on whatever programming Lamborghini put into the car. These modes that you can operate do not control the exhaust. So right now the exhaust is closed, but listen when it opens up. You hear it open up? It opens up at 4,000 RPM. Now, if I put it in strata mode, hitting that switch right there. Now, I'm not sure, I can't remember if strata mode will open the valves up on the exhaust at 4,000, but let's give it a try. Yeah, it opens the valves up in strata mode as well. But of course, if we put it in city mode and you want it to be completely quiet, that would turn off the engine and you can run off of electric. But what you're gonna notice, and here's something that's important about how to drive this car, is your gauges. On the left, you have the gauge. The leftmost meter on the left is the gauge for your battery power. So we have like about 3/4 of full power from the battery. That's what that gauge is on the left. The gauge on the right is your gas. Just like, any other car, your gas gauge. That's what you see on the right. And you also have the battery power, right? It's just in a different type of a display on the right of the screen. And of course you have your mileage and that good stuff. In the center, that's your tachometer, your speed, your gear, all prominently displayed. A for automatic mode. And then if you hit the M button down there in the console, you can put it in manual shifting mode. So those are your main gauges, and you can control what's displayed on the screen. So for example, if I put the car let's put it into Corsa mode, that's manual shifting. And this car is plenty powerful. But even in Corsa mode, race mode, the exhaust flaps like turn on and off, and the car is real quiet under 4,000 RPM, which is whack. I don't like that. That's one thing about Lamborghini. But if that happens in your car, don't think that something's wrong with it. That's just the way it works. All right, so I'm still in manual shift mode. Let's go around this roundabout, and I'm gonna take you guys on a nice little drive in the Revuelto. Now, this car has a lot of power. Listen to that. I was just driving my Ferrari F8 earlier today, and I was thinking to myself that the Ferrari feels faster than the Revuelto. I take that back. I take that back, man. This car pulls like a freight train. Oh, come on. This car has so much torque and so much power that you could lose traction very easily if the wheel is not straight and you give it a lot of gas. And I'm in hybrid mode. I'm not even in performance mode with the full torque. If I hit performance mode with this battery torque that can kick in, I really am not comfortable doing that. Filming and driving at the same time. It's just too much power. And this car red lines at 9,000 RPM. That's crazy. Wow. So I got about 200 miles on this car. Today is the first time I've driven the car where I felt like it almost has too much power. That's crazy. I don't know if they limit the power. I have a theory that they limit the power on the first 150 miles of the car, because there's a guy, Drag Times, Brooks from Drag Times. He just got one of these cars, and he timed it when he first got it, and there's some other people that timed their cars when they first bought them with low miles, and they weren't going that fast. They were going like high nines, but then they put some miles on their car, and the car's going low nines, from high nines to low nines. The only difference is the mileage on the car and probably maybe the weather, I guess. God dang. This car is nuts, man. This is the first time I drove it where it feels like it's getting full power now, and it's almost overpowered. And I have not put the car in performance mode, and I'm driving in hybrid mode, hybrid Corsa. So I got full power from the naturally aspirated engine, but I have limited power on the torque from the motors. So I'm not even getting the full 200 horsepower from the motors, and it almost feels like it's overpowered. That's crazy. Oh man, let me enjoy driving this on the way home. In case you're wondering how the cameras look from, so you got your overhead view. Overhead, you can see what's around you in the front. It's my front camera right there. They did a really good job with this. Really, my only major gripe is the freaking blind spot monitoring. I don't have it on my car because I made a mistake when I ordered all of this different tech. They had all these different tech packages. I thought I ordered everything I needed, and the most important thing I wanted was the freaking blind spot monitoring. And these idiots, it's an option that these idiots somehow named it in a way where I thought I got it, but I didn't. Man, I'm pissed about that. All right, let me show you how to charge this car up while if you're gonna leave it for like a month, or you're gonna be out of town for a few weeks or something like that. Let me show you how to charge or connect the charger. All right, so I'm gonna show you real quick for the owners out there. You wanna know how to keep your battery charged up for your hybrid battery, the big one? Well, this is how you're gonna do it. First of all, there's a little switch here. I'll pull that down like that, all right? There's a little knob here to turn it back and forth. This is gonna set the hood down so it doesn't pinch the line to the charger. Now to connect your charger, you're gonna press this button right here, and then you're gonna stick the charger, you're gonna connect it. I'm gonna try to connect it first without pressing that button. See, it's connected to the wall. That's your charger. Here's your charger. So I'm gonna lift this thing up here. I need 2 hands to do this. I'm gonna try to do it with 1 hand. Lift that up. Here's the charger receptacle. Boom. Stick that in there. That's how, let me see if I can turn the light up. Now it'll start charging automatically. Those are your charge status lights right there. Boom. That green means it's charging. Right here, it tells you how much battery life you have right there. It says 100%. Anyway, you plug it in right there, and then you gently set this hood down, and it'll hit the latch, but it won't go all the way down so that you don't pinch the line. You just leave it there, and the car will stay on this tender charging so that you have power in your hybrid battery, in your hybrid Revuelto. So hopefully you guys found this informational or informative. That's how you drive the Lamborghini Revuelto. I swear, Lamborghini has a trick up their sleeve. They're not giving you full power when you first buy this car. The more miles you put on it, the more power the car gets. It's crazy. All right, let me close up my garage right now.
It's the one and only Floyd Money Mayweather. I'm here to tell you guys to go to Wheel Motivation. The exotic cars is crazy. I've been watching this show for a little while now, and it's growing. But we need everybody else to subscribe to Wheel Motivation and support Will. I'm supporting them. You do the same.